Hello everyone, this is Romario with a new legacy video. And as always, before we start, if you can take the time to just hit the subscribe button, the like button, leave your comments below. With your comments on punts that I made or lines of play that were correct, card choices, decks. Yeah, I love reading the comments. And so for this video, I'm going back to a deck that I played mostly last year until couldn't really get good results with it. And then eventually I switched to a different version of Storm. I actually had to go back and look it up. When was it I played? This was the first, well, I'm on the East Coast in the US, so it was the first Friday night challenge that when they started having those on MTGO. So as you can see, it's from like April of last year. List, I think it's pretty similar to the one that I'm going to play in this league. We had a few different cards, I guess. It was Academy's Awakening. It was the one that we used to play. And then we swapped to, and I'm sorry, I'm saying we because it was me and Mike Reed that we kind of worked on this list specifically. And also, I think in the sideboard, there were a few different cards that we were playing. Like there was one copy of Surge Node and then ended up going to two. It's a very good card to play against Chalice of the Void decks. We still had the one ring in the sideboard. Nowadays, I think there's a higher percentage, I guess, or more popular. There's No Rod has become more popular because of the Mystic Forge decks, and so the one ring doesn't really fix the problems that we were trying to fix at the time. And Crippling Fatigue was a cool card to have because we are playing Entombs, so it's kind of like you can tutor for a removal spell, but it was not a very good idea really. The idea was like to find a way to kill things like Gaea Teague or Collector Roof, but as it turns out, if Collector Roof is in play, it's actually kind of hard to get to 2 mana with this deck. You'd have to like Dark Ritual it out or but yeah, either way. So there was a list that I was playing before, and then I was having a hard time like winning matches with this deck, so I kind of put it aside. And then so recently I just kind of like for fun to see where the deck was in the meta, I noticed I was getting some like 4/1s and 3/2s with this deck. So I was like, all right, maybe there's still something here. But yeah, so it's a Saga Storm deck that's a little different than the one that I most post kind of like recent on my channel, and the one that Tony Scapone has made it popular. This version plays Echo of Eons, and it's really leaning into the Entomb Echo Lies Diamond interaction. We also play more copies of Beseech the Mirror, so it is a deck that can easily turn one with Beseech the Mirror, some mana rocks, and Gaea's Will. So just going over real quick here, like the deck is, the main deck is kind of self-explanatory, but I'll explain some of the card choices. So we have like one basic swamp, really because we already maxed out on the Vault of Whispers. Vault of Whispers obviously has the synergy with Mox Opal. Also, like it's another card that you can sack to Beseech the Mirror for the bargain ability mechanic, I guess bargain mechanic. So 4 copies of Vault of Whispers. And also interacts with the makes your Saga tokens bigger. Urza Saga, it does pretty much everything you want in this deck, like tutors for artifacts, like Lies Diamond if you're trying to echo, or you can tutor for Lavaspur Boots if you want to speed up the clock. And then in the sideboard we have Haywire Mite and Surge Node. They're cards that you can also find with Urza Saga. Then we have all the fast mana with the artifacts, so like Chrome Mox, Lies Diamond, Lotus Petal, Mox Opal. Those are kind of like the ones you expect to see in this type of deck. Chrome Mox kind of being the weakest here, but it's just a card that we need to play in this list. Lavaspur Boots, like I said, is just like a way to speed up the clock with Urza Saga, and sometimes it's a way to protect an Orcish Bowmasters. It can be a win con, and it's gonna sound like it's a corner case, but it's not. It does happen quite often. If you have Orcish Bowmasters and you echo, if you have Orcish Bowmasters in play and you cast an Echo of Eons, being able to give the token haste, it comes up a lot, and it's a way sometimes for you not to have to pass a turn, just get the win. The kill, before you pass the turn. And then there are 2 copies of Cabal Therapy, the 1 Duress, and the 4 Thoughtseize. They're all like, your discard package. I think this is the correct number of discard spells. It is possible that like maybe 1 Cabal Therapy and 2 Duresses might be more correct. Cabal Therapy, like most times you just want to see one of them in a game. And we also have Entombs that can like search for Cabal Therapy, and then you can flash it back with a Orcish Bowmaster token or a Saga token to see if the coast is clear, and then you try to go for, I mean, you can go for a Beseech the Mirror line. And then of course we have Dark Rituals. And then Entombs, like I said, it's just a way for find Cabal Therapies, and you can also like put Echo of Eons in the graveyard. Then a Thoughtseize, Orcish Bowmasters, again, just another card that has some interaction with Echo of Eons. And I mean, the meta is very blue, so having Orcish Bowmasters in your main deck, and especially in a deck that can easily cast this card on turn 1, it's very relevant. Fell the Profane. So, like I said, before we did play Academy's Awakening, which was alright. There were some situations that you could like bring back a Orcish Bowmasters, but it was very rare. Like it's much more relevant to be able to kill a Murktide or maybe a Tamiya that's about to like ultimate. And of course that has some more synergy with Chrome Mox. Like if you need to make black mana, you can just imprint one of those. Tendrils of Agony, it's just the win con in the deck. Again, if you're playing this deck, there were some times that we had 2 copies of Tendrils of Agony in the main deck. It was not uncommon for you to cast 1 Tendrils and then just find another line and cast a second Tendrils. It's again, it sounds like it's a corner case, but it's not. It does happen quite often. And this deck, except for the Beseech the Mirror lines, the Echo of Eons lines, very or significantly, it's not a deterministic win. So the times that I had 2 copies of Tendrils in the main deck, there were enough times that I noticed that you would play some of the artifacts and Entomb, put Echo in the graveyard, cast it, and a Dark Ritual plus like 2 mana rocks, and if you drew the Tendrils, you could just cast it from your hand. So again, it is relevant, but in this version, I opted to play the 1 copy of Song of Creation instead of the second Tendrils. Then we have the Beseech the Mirror, which is probably the best card in the deck. It's the one that allows you to have the fastest wins. And it's sometimes like it can just be like a tutor for another copy or Urza Saga. I've done that plenty of times. Like, if you don't want to, overcommit, you can just cast a Beseech the Mirror. You don't have to bargain and just grab another copy of Saga. You can also Beseech to find another discard spell if you have extra copies of Beseech in your hand. So it's a very good card, right? Since the card was printed. And then we have the copy of Song of Creation. That is also like another way to pseudo turn 1 when you don't have quite enough mana or permanents to replay to Gaea's Will, or not permanents, but spells. So a Beseech the Mirror, turn 1, Song of Creation. If you have another 0-drop artifact or something like that, it's just a lot of times just a win. It is a little weaker when more people are playing Orcish Bowmasters, notably. Then, of course, the 4 copies of Echo, which is like one of the main reasons to play this version of the deck. And then looking at the sideboard, so Haywire Mite, very good against red decks. They're trying to play Chalice of the Void or Leyline of the Void. And it's also very relevant against the white decks. They're running Deafening Silence. And again, it's a card that you can find with Urza Saga. 2 copies of Surge Node. That's a card that at one point we were just like running 1, and I noticed that sometimes just having in your opening hand, it's super relevant. Some of the decks are playing Chalices. Not always they're gonna go, if they don't play, not always they're gonna like Chalice on 1. Sometimes they just Chalice on 0. So if you have a Surge Node in your hand, it just might be relevant. And also some of those decks, if they try to for instance, which is it's a common play pattern. A turn 1 Blood Moon, Chalice on 0. You can't find it Surge Node with Saga, but you can cast a Surge Node from your hand, right? And then, of course, if Surge Node puts a counter on Chalice, now your zeros are unlocked, and then you can have access to green mana if you want to later find a Haywire Mite, or if you need to make black mana to actually win the game. So it's just something to keep in mind. So I think the 2 copies of Surgeon Node is correct. Then we have 2 more copies of Duress in the sideboard against all of the blue decks that we see in the format right now. I mean, it's just a discard spell, not much like to go into it. Feed the Swarm. Feed the Swarm is it's an interesting one too. It's a card that it's probably the best option we have for black as far as removal and to deal with Leyline of the Void and Deafening Silence. It kind of does all those things. It does have the huge downside that it's a sorcery. So it'd be obviously you get to some situations that your opponent plays as a spell that you have to deal with, but you can't do it in the turn. You have to do it on your turn, and sometimes your mana is tied up. So, but it is probably one of the better options in this deck, and I think 3 is the correct number. It's not a bad play pattern if you're not sure if your opponent's playing Leyline of the Void. Bring them in, kill Leyline of the Void, play Liza Diamond, Echo. It's kind of reminds me of like the old Ant decks when you used to just like Hercules Recall a Chalice, and then you go for the win. So Feed the Swarm, pretty sweet card, very relevant nowadays, especially because of Electro Roof again, Deafening Silence, and Gaea. And then Helm of Obedience, Leyline of the Void. It's just like, no, again, lots of graveyard based decks in the format. So Leyline of the Void is super relevant. And if you have Leyline and you're playing Beseech the Mirror, might as well have Helm of Obedience to be another win con. Sheoldred. So Sheoldred, it's again for blue decks, but it's also like a good way for you to get around the One Ring. And it sounds like it's kind of like Magic Christmas Land. Like, you have to have Sheoldred and you have to like Echo. But the card itself is still like a powerhouse, right? Like, it's super house. It's super good against like any of the decks that are casting Brainstorms and Ponders. Now the one card that like I am not really sure if I want to have in my 7.5 is Empty the Warrens. After the card Tamiya was printed, or it was already printed, but not a lot of people were playing, I guess, when it was first released. That card is just single-handedly just makes Empty the Warrens like look stupid. That was used to be like one of the best ways for you to deal with tempo decks. So you just turn 1, make 10 goblins, and kind of try to ride it to victory. They didn't have much like a way to deal with that. But now with Tamiya, it's just easy for them to not care about Empty the Warren tokens. Which I guess brings another point. Like, it's possible that not Feed the Swarm, but like maybe we can have like a copy of Dismember, Collector Roof. It's a card that's like very popular right now. It can be, I don't know, like a card like Massacre maybe. I think Dismember should probably be the correct one, because Dismember is a lot easier to cast even under a Collector Roof that's making all your artifacts now produce mana. It's even maybe the case that you could run 2 copies of Feed the Swarm and 2 copies of Dismember, but I think maybe just 3 Feed the Swarm and 1 Dismember. I'm gonna try it like this anyways, just to see if Empty the Warren is really not relevant anymore. But I have a feeling that like if I was gonna bring this deck to like a bigger event, I'd probably not have the copy of Empty the Warrens. I would just literally have anything else besides, another removal. Discard spells, I think it's enough now, like with the 2 extra Duresses and the 7 copies in the main deck. So I think I would look for something that can remove some kind of permanent hate. Like I said, Deafening Silence or Collector Roof, Gaea, or we don't see a lot of it, but also Lavinia is another card that sometimes can be a problem. So yeah. So with that being said, like, let's see how it goes. I'm kind of excited to see how this league how this league is gonna end up. I've been playing this deck a little bit offline. By offline I mean like on not recording or streaming. And my experience so far has been like 3-2s and 4-1s. Haven't got a 5-0 yet, but I also haven't tried too many leagues. But the deck can definitely win in the current meta. And yeah, like I said, I was really big into this deck. I took to a Star City event. Did well in some challenges with this list, but then for some reason the meta just shifted in a way that I could not win games with this deck. So and then of course I moved to the Saga Storm with the ad nauseam, but I always think this deck is still very powerful. Like, no, we can still win on turn 1. You have cards that are like relevant in the meta, like, we have Orcish Bowmasters, and this card's always good when you play against blue decks. So yeah, with that being said, let's get started and let's get to round one of the league. All right, so we're here for round one. I'll be on the draw. Let's see what kind of opening hand. This is technically a turn one, I think. I think for a second. So it's storm count will be 1, 2, 3, 4. Sec Beseech. Sec Chrome Mox. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm sorry. Yeah, 5. Second, that's you guys will, that's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I should have enough mana to. Oh, hang on a second. Yeah, the double dark ritual. Yeah. Okay. That is. I mean, obviously can't play around pretty much anything. But who knows? Maybe the opponent doesn't have anything. All right, so yes, we can start off some creation on this. Play a Lotus Petal. We can cast Dark Ritual. And then Thoughtseize. Ooh, it's a lot of brainstorms and repeal doesn't really do anything. Yeah, I guess I just had to take brainstorm. All right, well, Dark Ritual again. It doesn't really matter what color, I think. So stack this. And that's when they're going to try to find a Force of Will. And hopefully they don't. I can beat a Daze. All right. So I'm just going to go get Gaia's Will. I'm going to cast Gaia's Will. I can replay Lotus Petal. Can replay a Chrome Mox. Don't have anything to imprint. Ooh, Dark Ritual. Dark Ritual. I can Thoughtseize them again. All right. Repeal and brainstorms. Not really sure what we're dealing with here. Okay, so what do I want to do here? All right, I usually am a big fan of, if I'm not really sure, to just trim some of this part of the deck. I'm gonna bring Sheoldred and extra discard. If I really want to, I can always just cut a Chrome Mox and keep another Echo of Eons, but I think this is fine. It's pretty much any draw that turns out to be a payoff card. Oh, okay, we're playing against this. That's cool. Pinnacle Emissary. All right. Well, this deck's usually draw cards, so Orcish Bowmaster, it's pretty good usually. All right, let's Duress them. Core Steel Cutter seems to be the card that I don't want to have to deal with here. I'll play Lotus Petal now. The most telegraph Orcish Bowmasters, but I'm going to guess a Dark Ritual opponent. And then I'm going to try to Orcish Bowmasters. I guess I'll ping the flyer. Now I'll get 3 triggers. All right. Just target them 3 times. I'm just gonna play this steps and swing for 5. And I guess I just have to keep in mind that they have days in hand. I'm not even, I don't even have metal craft neither too, so that's the Pinnacle Emissary. And that's a bauble. This thing can only block flyers, right? So okay. I've never seen this art for Urza's bauble. That's kind of cool. Is there any reason not to do this now? What do I lose to? Force? Like Daisy doesn't really do anything, right? The other hand, I think their hand is, well, no, they cast a brainstorm, so they don't necessarily have. That's the days. I'm gonna pay for it. You have another days? Oh, okay. All right. Now I'm just gonna attack with a 4/4. So I'm assuming they're gonna draw into this to this ponder. It's gonna attack with the drones. Now I'm gonna attack with the emissary. I guess they're blocking next turn. Oh, they're gonna cast a ponder. I think I just pinged them. Not sure. Ping the drones doesn't matter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They can cast Kappa next turn either way. And if they find another artifact with this, then yeah, I think I'm just gonna ping them. They go to 6. There is a world where maybe I can just Dark Ritual, Beseech, Tendrils them. It's a very good draw. Alright, so I'm gonna swing for 5 again. I'm gonna block this time. Alright. Alright. Ooh, they're gonna draw 2. I think now maybe makes sense to kill a token. Because there is 6 anyway, so like I'm gonna bobble. Okay. Huh. So they can block with one of those guys. Alright, so Entomb off the top or Echo of Eons. Did I shave the echoes? I did shave 2. And I shaved Entomb too. Alright, perfect. Gonna bobble me. Okay. So what can I do here? I guess I guess I ping them. It's a Saga. So they saw the Saga. Alright, got a swing. I'm gonna block with a monk token. I guess I'll play the LED. There's a small chance that they have. Oh. They're forcing engage my LED. Oh, okay. All right. I was gonna draw Sheoldred. I want to move to cast them. All right. So that was round 1. Interesting deck. I've seen. I mean, I even recorded one for my channel, but I don't think I've seen that. Maybe it's a deck configuration. I don't think the list I played had core steel cutters, but cool deck. I like Pinnacle Emissary, but maybe no. Maybe opponent just didn't draw enough counter magic there. So we'll see how this league goes. See how round 2. And I was considering some of the cards I could have brought here against them. No, I didn't get to see very much in game 1, right? I just saw Brainstorms and Repeal, but I was thinking maybe Empty the Worms, but then I saw the Tamio, and it's like Tamio single-handedly like makes this card not very good, which maybe shouldn't even be on my sideboard. So we'll see by the end of this league if maybe that card is still, if I can still like, if there's any situation I want to bring it in. All right. This is round 1. We'll see how round 2 goes. All right. So round 2 on the draw. This looks good. I don't like to have a way to look at my opponent's hand, but it's not. It's not a big deal. Oh, we're playing against this. All right. So in this case, oh, I don't have Metalcraft with this. So what can I do here? Okay, so if I play Saga, I have another permanent to sacrifice to Beseech or to bargain. So the Storm combo would have been 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, 6, 7 is Gaia's Will. The problem is that I don't have Metalcraft. So when I cast Gaia's Will, if I replay Mox Opal and Chrome Mox, I can't cast Tendrils, or I can't not flashback, but cast the Beseech from the graveyard. So what I can do, since I don't want to pass a turn against this deck, is to get some creation in play. I kind of just want to put Fell the Profane under. Maybe I can put it in Entomb. No, I can cast Entomb, so I guess I'll put Fell the Profane. I can play Saga. So Dark Ritual. Tap this, and then I actually gonna sack the Saga. because I'm trying to get to Metalcraft with this. And that didn't happen. Okay, so I get another Saga. And I don't have black mana for this. All right, okay, so that was kind of a whiff there. But, you know, lots of good top decks here. And they just wasteland me. That's kind of annoying, but I'm gonna take 1 point of damage. I would be more worried if they actually cast a Bowmasters, because I'm not sure if I could play through that. Whiff on the. Okay, so this is probably a win here, I believe. I'm gonna make black mana with this. I'm gonna play another Opal. Okay, I'm gonna keep this one. Play a Chrome Mox. And that's cool. That's interaction is kind of cool, like how you get to imprint the thing that you find with after you draw Song of Creation. It's not very intuitive, like if you do it in paper, but on Magic Online is like right in front of your face, and it's easy to see how it works. All right, so here I think it's probably I'm just gonna draw my entire deck. Well, gonna do that because then I lose the game, but I'm just trying to find a tutor here that can find the Tendrils of Agony, or I might just draw the actual Tendrils and then. No, okay. I'm gonna put Echo in the graveyard. I'll play the Dark Ritual. We'll find Tendrils. Okay. And just for the extra information, let me see. Let's see if they're playing. Oh, they are playing Bowmasters. Oh wow. Okay. This could have gone real bad. All right, and black and I guess Tendrils. All right. So get to draw 2 cards. Okay, cool. Well, So I think I want these, and there's one. I guess Empty the Warrens might be good here. Maybe Sheoldred, because I think I'm gonna discard. Yeah, discard. I'm gonna side out some. Well, I can side out some of the Echo too, and probably Song of Creation too. Duress is not great against them neither. I wonder if I want Helm plus. No, because if they have Deafening Silence, it's really hard for me to get the second half of the combo in play. Sheoldred seems interesting, but I don't know if it's for this matchup. Probably not. I think it's just like if they're playing blue. This seems alright. Like if they Thoughtseize me, I guess it's terrible, but can I find an LED? Beseech? I think that's a kill. I didn't have anything. Did I keep my... No, I took Song of Creation out. But I think it's just a normal Beseech win. And it's funny because usually you need a ritual to make this work, and but in this case, just bargain this away. So 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah. All right. Let's just do the easy way. Yeah. All right. That was round 2. Yeah, the both games there wasn't really too much hate I had to fight through, so those games sometimes look easy, but one piece of interaction and it would have been very different. All right, let's see how round 3 goes. And again, if you like Legacy, if you like Premodern, this will be the perfect time for you to hit the subscribe and like button. Also, don't forget to leave all comments on deck choices, cards that I play, or card choices, I guess, and lines and etc. All right, so round 3, and I'm on the play this time. Which, if you're playing combo, that's kind of where you want to be at. I think I'm gonna keep this one, so I can either Orcish Bowmasters on turn 1, or can go for a discard spell. I think I'm gonna try to go for a Thoughtseize on turn 1 just to see what's up. All right. I guess. I guess I can take their Orcish Bowmasters. At this point, I think I want to draw a what should we call Echo of Eons or something like that. I'm gonna do this right now before they can daze, and also Cabal Therapy would be a lot better if I have a creature in play. So if I draw Echo of Eons, and I can do all that. Okay. So what do I want to take from their hands? Like the Days Murktide and Ponder. Probably just Murktide. No, Murktide. Ponder can be annoying too. You know, I'm just gonna take Ponder. Okay. I have a Cameo. Okay, so just hoping to, I guess, draw a way to. Oh, they just drew Ponder. Can Thoughtseize the top of your. Oh, not Thoughtseize. I guess it's King Cabal Therapy, the top of my opponent's deck. I'm gonna fetch, probably just play the Tameo, right? Yeah. All right, deck. Give me a Echo of Eons, please. It's kind of like an Echo of Eons, right? Yeah, I think I'm still just gonna take the damage here. Is there any reason to attack? There is if they have Bowmasters, I guess, right? Ping them again. All right, I think I need to draw something this turn, but I've got better options now. Now that I do the pedal, then Maybe I should have played out the Petal last turn, actually. The play Murktide now, it's a 4/4. No, it's a 5/5 Murktide. Okay. But Nethergorth gets tiny. Thoughtseize. Of course. Alright, I guess I'm just gonna pass and hopefully my opponent does not have a way to exile another card from their graveyard. Is it from any graveyard or just from their graveyard, right? Okay, I'm gonna take 5. This Thoughtseize is dead. I know I thought about taking Murktide earlier when I think I mentioned that out loud. But I thought I was gonna draw something before that happens. Okay. Okay, at this point I think I should probably not even bother with I'm just gonna save target. As soon as this thing resolves, I'm dead. But I was just trying to see if I get any extra info. Okay, stock up in days. All right. Let's see this first. Okay, so it doesn't look like they're the Reanimator type of deck. So I think and still probably cut 2 of these. I do like Sheoldred and then an extra discard. Maybe we can cut an Entomb and bring another Duress. I don't know if that's too many. I know what, Song of Creation probably not as good as the extra Entomb. Yes. Methinks. Alright, so Thoughtseize. There's 1 force. There's an Echo. And alright, so I can play a Sheoldred, I guess. Matter of fact, I think I'm just gonna print this. I just need 2 black. Yeah. I don't know, maybe I could have imprint this, but Ponder. Okay. So I think I'm just gonna play out my spells just in case they discard them. I was wondering if like the reason to do the other way to imprint Fell the Profane. I'm sorry, Fell the Profane. Would be to if the game goes long, then I think I want to just suspend Gaia's Will and I don't just hope that it's enough to get there. That Bowmasters. Yeah. So I can try to cast my own Bowmasters. And I'm gonna okay this guy. I'm probably gonna block this, right? Yeah. If I give them the choice to like maybe not block, then all right. Okay, so we're going to game 3. I think it's still fine. See, the swarm can kill a creature, but not much else. Helm of Obedience plus Leyline is only, I think, it's only good against the blue-black reanimator because this version is not very effective, and it just makes it like you can just lose to a no rod, like, which I guess kind of what I'm doing now, keeping his hand. You gonna Thoughtseize me? No, Tamio. All right, Tamio. Land. Oh, that's kind of cool. Can play Petal. Play the other Petal. All right, let's see what they got going on there. What is his name? Force of Will. There's a Force of Will. There's a Daze there too, so if there's one. I don't want to get any of my stuff discarded actually in this point, so. We can Daze this, I guess. It would be mildly annoying. Oh, you drew a Force of Will. Okay, so Daze on there. All right, so I guess Entomb. Probably my best draw. That's Mystic Sanctuary. What did they do with the Ponder? The clients use Ponder, so did they find another kind of magic? Okay, so play Das Boots. Alright. Oh, maybe they just kept the Brainstorm on top because of Damio. And that's this thing here. Okay. Can't really do much here. Maybe I should have just played out the Lotus Petal again. This guy's Thoughtseize. I'm gonna feel pretty bad. They already used 2 Force of Wills, so maybe they don't find a third one. Yeah, I don't understand why just not playing the Lotus Petal. It's like, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be able to cast it, but it makes me more vulnerable to Daze now if I draw Dark Ritual. Like, so they have. Actually, it doesn't, right? Because of Eliza Diamond. I'm gonna bargain the Boots. All right, they got it. They can do this thing. All right, 2-1. it's a pretty close game there, I think. We'll see how maybe we can still finish with a 4-1. Or like people like to say in the Twitch streets, the 3-2 dream still alive. All right, so round 4, I'm on the play. And this hand is not Gucci. Doesn't do anything. I mean, it Thoughteize on turn 1 and then pass the turn. This is one. I don't think it's. No, it's not good enough neither. This is good. So I think I'm gonna put the Entomb back and Fell the Profane, and I'm just gonna. Oh, look! Looks like they mulligan kind of low too. So maybe we're playing like a combo mirror. It's not often that I still get paired against Oops all spells, but they used to be kind of like a tell sign that you're playing against Oops, right? Game 1, your opponent mulligans down to 4 cards, and then they dark ritual it out and just win. But which is sometimes a good reason not to cast the Bowmasters here, because it usually doesn't beat that deck. So sometimes maybe having the extra black mana is more important, which I don't know, maybe is a mistake what I'm doing here. If I'm short some amount of mana, then that's what happens. I don't think it's gonna be the case here though, so they just conceded. All right. I'm just gonna assume that it's some kind of combo, like I said, like Oops or could be Storm too. So in that case, let's take this out, and we can take things out. I could maybe cut the Duress for the Lavaspur Boots. I think again, not knowing that they're without their having a single clue what they're playing, it's kind of hard. Looks like opponent's deep in the tank there. And this would be a good time. Actually, be the perfect time if you haven't hit the follow button or the subscribe button. If you like Legacy, if you like Pre-Modern. Mostly for Legacy, like Combo, Pre-Modern. If you like, look at some janky decks that I try to play every once in a while, and some elves. It seems like slowly my Pre-Modern section of the channel has become like an elves channel. All right, so I think this hand is good. Got different routes to win. Okay, now we're gonna have the dueling Leylines. Plains. A Chrome Mox. Alright. What are we doing, opponents? Oh, it's initiative? Chalice of the Void. Okay. Alright. So, what I'm going to do, I'm going to play a Vault of Whispers. I'm going to Dark Ritual. Dark Ritual. I'm going to, oops, bargain away the Vault of Whispers. I'm going to get a Helm of Obedience. I'm going to cast it. And I'm going to activate for 1. Yep. And they lose their whole deck. And I'm going to pass a turn. Wow, I was way off in the deck that they were playing, but glad it worked out. Cool. That was a quick round 4. I think it took longer for us to decide on sideboarding than actually playing the games. Let's see if we can finish with a good 4-1. And again, if you like Legacy, if you like Premodern, hit the subscribe button, hit the follow button, leave your comments below. Love seeing you in the comments. Card choices, punts that I made, all that stuff. All right, 5th and final round of the league. I'll be on the play. So I'm gonna, yeah, I think I'm gonna keep this one. Too bad I can't guess Orcish Bowmaster too. But these ones are interesting because if they have a Force of Will, you can double Echo, which is not, it's not amazing, but it's cool that you can do that. Like if I try to just do one time, then you can get got, but like this way you can't. Oh, we're playing against Doomsday. Oh, that's right, Clan. I see who it is now. All right, we're playing against Clan. I guess I'm gonna Thoughtseize them. Okay, so Dark Ritual, Quantum Riddler, Force. I think I'm just gonna take the Force. Play a Saga. I'm gonna Bowmasters them right now. And I don't think there's a reason for me to not do this now. I feel like having Metalcraft and making my constructs bigger would be my priority now. Force is gone. They played Blessing Meyer, Petal. The Riddler. They'll take some damage from Orcish Bowmasters, I guess. Not really sure. Another Orcish Bowmasters. That's pretty good. And I'm gonna swing for 2. Next turn. Do I just did I kill them with the boots? So if I make a token, that token will be 1, 2, 3, 4. So it'll be a 4. Next one is 5 plus the boots 6. Yeah. So Quantum Riddler. If I Orcish Bowmasters. Take 1. Take 1. All right. Okie dokie. All right, so it's Doomsday. I mean, I kind of like have Helm against them. I think Sheoldred's good too. His Duress is too. Creation, I think, is a little worse than the other options. So many cards I wanna bring in. Maybe Helm is not. It's not what I want to do because it's super slow, right? And yeah, could just bring double Duress, Sheoldred plus Echo, just like amazing. In order for me to be able to fit Helm in here, I think I also have to put some Chrome Moxes or something like that, and it makes it harder for me to cast Helm and be able to activate it. Maybe I just double Duress and not Sheoldred. Problem is, like, if they have a turn one, a turn one Doomsday, I think one of the only ways I can fight that is by casting Helm and Leyline the Void. I don't think I can beat them otherwise. Well, actually, I guess if I'm able to Beseech the Mirror, then I can just Tendrils, right? Yeah, okay. We'll just like this. I think maybe Sheoldred's a little too ambitious on the draw. On the play, it's probably okay though. This is right. Can I do anything with his hand? He needs to. I need to draw an LED. And this hand is not good. I'm gonna keep this one. I'm gonna put Echo back. And if they do go for a turn one Doomsday, the chance that I can just Tendrils them. Let's see, if I draw a Dark Ritual, that'll be 1, 2, 3. That's only 6. Like they might just Thoughtseize me. Okay. All right. So we're good, I guess. All right. So they play the Lotus Petal. Huh. I'm gonna keep the. Yeah, I think I'm gonna keep the Lotus Petal in my hand. Probably that the cat's out of the bag, right? They know that I have Tendrils in my hand. Just a 3-mana Doomsday. Yeah. All right. So actually, we get to look at their deck too. So this would be a situation that having Helm would work. No, because I wouldn't have enough mana to mill out their whole deck, right? It would just be one. No, not even one. It'd be 0 mana. Never mind. Unless I draw another mana source. So just trying to think how the sideboard would play out if I had that in my deck. Now Sheoldred though, on the play, it's probably a good enough turn 1 for Beseech the Mirror. So they have one Riddler, Thoughtseize, Edge of Autumn, Ponder, Force of Will. Okay. There's a Thoughtseize Orc in the graveyard. So, I mean, exile. So I'm assuming they have another one. All right. So let's see. Play this. Play this. Dark Ritual. Cast this. With Tendrils, that's not enough. And they have a Spirit Wraith here, but I'm assuming they can win without having to lose life. Man, so close. Just needed one more storm. I don't have Cabal Rituals in this deck, so I can't. Okay, so Gaia's Will. Triple black, I guess. All right. So replace Saga. Okay. Cool. Oh, and I messed up again. I didn't have the deck in the background. Thought I had it correctly this time. So 4-1. It's been my experience with this deck just going 3-2 and 4-1. Haven't got a 5-0 yet. Like I mentioned in the intro, I did start playing this deck again, kind of like to see how it would do in the current meta. I was playing some of the, I guess at least that say Tony Scapono had popularized it. The Saga Storm with the Cabal Rituals and the what's the other card I'm looking at? Ad Nauseam, yeah. So, and I was having a hard time, getting good results with that style of Storm, but then played a couple of leagues with this one that was basically a list from last year, and it was doing all right. So I was like, well, maybe there's something here. Maybe this deck is not completely washed up. So just, I guess, some thoughts on this list. It is still vulnerable to no rod. That's just kind of like how it is. I don't think there's really a good way to fix it, except for like maybe adding Cabal Rituals, but I don't even know like where would you add them. I think it's just maybe like just the way you play it. If you don't have to use the Fell the Profane to imprint on the Chrome Mox, that's one way you can do it, like by using Fell the Profane and Swamp to activate your Urza Saga. I guess even like, using a Dark Ritual, like, if you have the basic Swamp or Fell the Profane to make tokens, I think that's one way to do it. Like just go real hard on the construct plan. The other plan is to have Beseech the Mirror and Song Creation, and if you can cast a Beseech the Mirror, you can sack one of the artifacts that you can activate with the no rod in play, then maybe do that way. But again, it is kind of like a tough card to beat with this list. The other thing I was thinking while I was playing the league is that Empty the Warrens, it just might be time to cut it. I don't think the card actually does anything significant for this deck. I'll have to think, I guess, what I would like to have in its place. The One Ring was a card that I think I have some other lists here that I tried. I was using them as a inspiration to see if I was going to change anything. Yeah, the One Ring was one of the cards that I used to have in the sideboard, even though there's members, and these are older lists because of Agadeem's Awakening. That was before we started playing Fell the Profane. So yeah, I think Into the Warrens, it was an excellent card against blue decks, but every blue deck now plays Tamiyo, and Tamiyo just makes a card not good. So, there's already 2 copies of Duress in the sideboard, so I don't think adding more discard spells is really something that I'm interested in doing with this list. Dismember might be a better option, just because of how popular people are playing Collect Roof, and I've been seeing some people playing Gaea too, mostly because of the Forge deck. But of course, this deck gets a little splash damage from both sides, right? Like from the artifact decks and the graveyard decks. So maybe instead of having Empty the Warrens, just switch to a Dismember, and maybe even go 2 and 2 to feed the Swarm to Dismembers. But Empty the Warrens, yeah, should definitely not be his deck anymore. And then Sheoldred, I think it's still very relevant. Still a very good card. The Helm of Obedience plus Leyline of the Void, I think this might be one of the better options one of the better strategies for the graveyard decks, and it happens to be good against some of the combo decks in the format, right? Except for the permanent base ones like Nadu or I guess Show and Tell is also not good, but Oopsal spells and the other Storm decks, and it's good against Blue Black Reanimator too. Even though getting the Helm in play and activating can be a little tricky against that deck, but I think you're more interested in having Leyline in your opening, because I still think that if you can stop that part of the combo, then discard plus Echo and Liza Diamond, it's good. Dark Ritual, land, Beseech, it's also good. The Saga plan is probably good too. I guess it's all just about like buying time, right? And we didn't get paired against any of the mono red decks. I have been playing against a deck like quite a lot actually when I was playing this list offline. Mainly offline, not recording. So those 3 cards are still relevant against that deck too, and Defeat the Swarm too. Mono red usually has tons of hate for Storm, like not because the deck's trying to target Storm, because it's not really, Storm is not really popular in the meta, but they just happen to have, because their deck is just cards that are good against Storm. But Haywire Mite, pretty good, can deal with any of the Chalice of the Void or Leyline of the Void. I just realized that Mono Red has lots of cards of the Void. And Surge Node is also a hilarious card. Like I've got some cool screenshots of this card, making Chalice of the Voids just bad for my opponent, because usually their curve starts at 3, so it has happened to me that they'll cast a Chalice of the Void on 2. I guess thinking that I might have Infernal Tutors and Cabal Rituals in my deck, and then if you find a Surge Node, then off of a Saga, or if you played on turn 1 or whatever, making the Chalice into having 3 counters is just awesome. Like most of the cards that you worried about on their side of the board is like they're 3 mana, right? So it's like Blood Moon, Mags of the Moon, Bombardier, Fable the Mirror Breaker. Those are all cards you don't want to see them casting mid to late game, right? Because that's how they turn the corner. So Surge Node, I think having 2 makes sense. For a while we only had 1, as a way to find with Saga. So it's kind of like cut Lavaspurs, put Surge Node. But just having that in your opening hand is actually not terrible either. Like that's been playing the situations that I played with this deck that your mono red opponent just plays a Chalice on 0 and plays like either a tap MDFC land or they just play a Mountain Sago or something like that. So having a Surge Node to make that Chalice on 0 be 1, then you can play your zeros, and then the following turn you can make into a 2 counter Chalice, and then now you can kind of unlock your hand, right? You can just play all your 1-drops. So I think having 2 Surge Nodes is probably correct. Just 1, I don't think it was enough. But yeah, I think I'm talking too much now. The main deck, I think it's fine. Lavaspur Boots, it's good. For a while, like we kept like switching between Lavaspur Boots and by the way, I mean it was like me and Mike, like when we were working on this deck, we kept deciding. I mean, not deciding, but like thinking if like maybe Candy Trail was better, or like Lavaspur Boots was better. I think Lavaspur Boots is it's a little better generally speaking. But if you really want to play Candy Trail, I can see how the appeal for that. It could be the second copy of Cabal Therapy, could be the Candy Trail. Cabal Therapy, like I said, it's like usually like you just want to have one copy of that card, and like you only see one copy of this card in the game. Some corner cases you can Entomb for Cabal Therapy, and then flashback either a Saga token or an Orcish Bowmaster token, and just to see if the coast is clear, and then you go for a Beseech line. But it's very rare that like I want to see 2 Cabal Therapies in a game. So maybe the Candy Trail, because again we were playing a deck that doesn't really have any library manipulation. So even in this league, like how many times you guys hear me saying like, all right, if I just draw X, then I can win, or if I draw X or Y, like no, I can win. So having a card that can help me look at the top of my deck, like, and basically look at 3 cards might be more relevant than Cabal Therapy. But all right, well, with that being said, thanks everyone for watching. Like Legacy, like Premodern, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Also, go check out Legacy Small Talk. It's a podcast that me, Mike, and Jared, we record every week. The Legacy podcast. We are also all going to be at Eternal Weekend. So when you're listening to this, I think it will be like about a month out before Eternal Weekend. We're going to have some merch with us. We're going to have some stickers and we're going to have some stickers. And I think we might have some sleeves on us too. Depends on like how soon we can get the stuff delivered to us. But we're definitely going to have stickers for the event. So if you see one of us, and if you're at the event, Eternal Weekend in Pittsburgh, by the way, I guess should make the, clarify that. If you see one of us, come say hi, give me a high five. And if I still have stickers available with me, you can have one from the Legacy Small Talk podcast. And thanks everyone for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you guys next time.